Hey, Steve Stine here. What I'd like to do today is show you how to play For Those About to Rock by AC/DC, some of the rhythm parts of the song, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways of playing different parts, simply because when we learn how to play songs oftentimes, we don't always play them the same way. Like, we might watch a video or look at tablature or something, and one way shows us this, and another way shows us this. And I've always kind of been from the school that you play whichever way makes most sense to you and sounds good to you, because it can be so difficult sometimes getting wrapped up in looking at the tablature and, it says to do this and that sort of thing. Again, everybody's doing the best they can to interpret it, but I think it still needs to come down to what works best for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to play the intro to this and then some other parts of the rhythm, the chord parts, and you can have some fun with this. So the first thing we're going to do is look at this sort of trademark intro here. That thing. Now what I've got here, I'm going to be on my bridge position pickup, and I just lower my volume back a little bit so it's not so distorted. I want a little more distortion when I get into the other parts, but right now I want it cleaned up a little bit. So again, if you've got distortion on, you might want to try and just back that off a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to the 11th fret of the first and third strings, and then the second string we're also going to play, but we're going to leave that open. So we're just going to be playing the first, second, and third strings. So what I'm going to do is take my middle finger, and I'm going to go to the third string, 11th fret, and I'm going to take my ring finger and go to the first string, 11th fret, and again, leave the second string open. Then I'm going to pick these strings with my thumb, my first finger, and my second finger. So my thumb goes on my third string, my first finger goes on the second string, and my ring finger goes on the first string. And I'm just going to learn how to pick those. So what you're going to do is pick it and then bring the fingers back and pick it again. And every time you bring the fingers back, you actually stop the vibration of the strings, which is good because it sounds kind of staccato. So there's a little kind of pause in between each one. So the trick is, as you're playing this, try and get used to making sure that each finger is sort of picking each string with the same amount of volume. Because as we keep going, we're actually going to be moving fingers on the first string. And so that first string is really important that you can hear it as you play this. And the reason I say that is sometimes like your thumb can be a little overbearing when people learn how to do this. So you want to make sure that you're picking each one with the same amount of pressure. Okay? Now, the second part of this is, if you can, learn to deaden the top three strings with part of your hand here. I'm using sort of the pad part of my thumb to sort of deaden those. That way, if you're playing at a louder volume, those strings will not be able to vibrate on you. You can keep those quiet as you do this. So I'm literally laying on those strings right now. Okay, the next part is to learn the accent pattern of this little thing that we're playing here. It goes... So you'll see there's some I'm hitting harder or accenting, and then some are a little bit quieter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play, I'll call it an accent. We're going to accent 1 and then play 2. Accent 1, play 2. And we're going to do that 4 times, so it sounds like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when we get to the end, we're going to accent, play 1, accent, play 1. So it looks like this. Okay, so nice and slow. Here's the whole thing together. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start moving. So we're going to take the first finger and go to the 10th fret of the first string and start that same pattern again. But we're only going to get through 2 of those. Okay, now this is where it gets a little confusing if you've never done this before. So again, I would encourage you to listen to it a few times to get a feel of it in your head and then try and play it. So when I'm going to start at the beginning here. Now right there is where we change. So we're going to this 10 and 11. We're doing the pattern twice. Accent, play 2 more, accent, play 2 more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head up to the 14th fret of the first string. And we're going to accent 1 and then play another one. Sorry. Right there. And then this is where it gets a little tricky, is you've got to go from the 14 right to the 12. Now you'll notice I'm using my pinky to do both of those. So my third finger is ready to start all over again. If you need to use a different group of fingers, that's okay. So let me play it for you here again. I'll start from the beginning. Okay, then I'm going to end out the pattern. So once I get here, I've got 1 accent, strum, strum, and then accent 1, accent 1. And I know it sounds really weird, and again, if that's confusing to you, one of the best things you can do is just listen to it and get a feel for it. But it's learning how to accent and then play. The whole thing is built off of that idea. And then it starts all over again. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And again, if you need to watch it a few times to get the feel of it. But to begin with, the big thing is lower your volume down a little bit so you don't have so much distortion or gain running through there, or change your pickup or whatever you might need to do. And try and learn to control those strings a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into some of the chord parts and talk about those a little bit. So the second guitar part is doing this. There we go. This whole thing. So it just starts doing this. And again, I would highly recommend listening to the song so you can kind of see where all these parts go. I don't want to get in copyright problems, so I'll show them to you. Unfortunately, I can't just use the track to do so. But so we're playing a B power chord. And then what we want is this drop from G to F sharp to E. And the way I'm doing that is I'm making a G open chord, kind of the Angus style, Malcolm style G, where instead of using the first finger on this G, I'm killing the 5th string like this, which enables me then when I want to go to F sharp, I just put that one there, and then go to the E. So I have, okay? Now, because I like the sound better, what I have a tendency of doing is when I play this G, and then I go to that F sharp, I'll put that finger there like I just showed you, but I'll also put my middle finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So it kind of sounds like a D there with the F sharp. Now again, either way, whatever works for you, but that's what we're trying to do. So we're moving from B, and then over to here. Now, if you really don't like playing open chords and that feels really uncomfortable, you can also do that by playing power chords. You might just play G like this, and then just lower this finger 1, and then go to your E power chord. And if you like that better, great. So we have... Okay. And again, the rhythm will change a little bit as you learn the song, but that's what you'll be using for chords. Then they add in one more chord. It goes like this. So you'll see there's one new chord there. I'm going from this B power chord, and I'm just taking this finger off and playing that chord. And then to this. Or, depending on how you want to play it. Okay? So that's how you'll play the beginning of this song. So you start with this, and then you go to, or whichever one you like better. And then you start adding in the second chord here. Okay? So that's how we start. And then he starts singing, and we keep doing this. And you got this. There's a lot of different ways of playing this first little lick here, so let me show you a couple of ideas. The most effective one, I think, is just going... And you'll hear it in the background, okay? So I'm going 7 on the 5th string, 5 on the 5th string, back to the 7, and then 5 on the 4th string, back to the 7 on the 5th string. And that's the way I've always played it, just because I can add some vibrato and all that kind of stuff, so I'm playing. Okay? But here's another way that sounds pretty cool. What you can do is make sort of a chord out of it and go like this. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I'm going to the 2nd fret of the 4th string and the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and I'm doing the same, but I'm doing it on the 4th string. So 2, 0, 2, 5, 2. But I'm using that 4th string of the 3rd, 4th fret of the 3rd string with it, which gives it kind of a cool, you know, power chord sound. Let me show you what it sounds like. So if you like that better, play it that way, okay? Just giving you some options of things. Okay, then we come out of that whole thing. We have one more lick, that little thing. And all you're really doing is sliding from 7 to 9 on the 4th string. And then you're going to play these 2 7s right here together on the 1st and 2nd strings. And it just keeps going. So I'm going to play the 2 of them together. Sorry. Okay, so that's what's happening during the verse. Then it moves to the stand up and be counted part, and what you're going to do there is this. And then it starts all over again. So what I'm doing there is playing that B power chord again, and I'm just sliding up and stopping the string. Okay, and then I want to play D, 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 A. Okay, now you can play it just by going from this straight D here to the A power chord. Okay, sometimes I use this version, which is what I always call the 70s chord. Okay, and again, whatever works better for you, whatever sounds better in your ears. But if you want to use this one, it's just an A power chord, and I'm adding my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and I'm adding my ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Okay, so if you think about it, you could go like this. Or, then we're just going to move from A to E power chords, and then G, E, whichever way you like to play your G. So let me just play that whole thing so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, and that's that part. Then it goes back into all that stuff again. So we're getting about halfway through this thing. Then we get to the solo, which we're not going to talk about the solo right now because it's just going to take too long. But the rhythm underneath there is going. So it's just an A chord, A power chord, to a G. And again, I'm not using this first finger, but if you'd rather use it, it's fine. To D. So we're going A, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you'll notice how that G kind of comes in a little late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So that's what's happening for the solo. And then we come back out to this again. 2, 3, 4. Whatever you like. Then it goes into the breaks for those about to rock. Okay? And then it goes G, G, D, A. We salute you. Okay? And then when it goes into the long one before the band kicks in at the end, you're going to go... Let me think about this. Here we go. And then you're going to go G, A, then it kicks into the double time. So it's the same part, you're just strumming the whole time. And again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing for strumming. I'm just playing the song. But those are all the parts. And so what I want you to do is listen to the song and just start kind of plugging these in and find what works for you. Again, if you play your chords different than I do, or you're playing, you know, your power chord, maybe you're going and you like that better. It's not what it is, right? Going from... But if it's where you are in your guitar journey and it's easier to play it that way and it enables you to play along with the song and have some fun, then go ahead and do it. Worry about the bigger details and stuff like that as you keep going. The most important thing is just to stay positive and having fun with what you're doing. And then, you know, if you decide, boy, I really don't like the sound of that, though, it just doesn't sound right, well, then change the way you're doing it and practice it and then put it back into the song and play it. So anyway, stay positive and have fun. And if you can, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you're interested in any of my guitar stuff, you can always head over to guitarzoom.com and have a look and see if I've got something that might be able to help you. But anyway, take care and I'll talk to you soon.